$3.2 billion. That is the amount my friend's company was just acquired for. Now I, having worked there for a couple of years, stood to make a little fortune from it. Excitedly, I took out my phone. I was going to text him. But I paused. I hesitate. What would I even say? Congratulations? So cliche. What happened? I thought we were going to go public. Wink. Ugh. Who says that? It's going to so backfire. You know what? I should just schedule an email to send later. Come on, I mean, getting plenty of messages anyway. Don't need another one from me. But this is pretty big news. I mean, a couple $1 billion worth of text message. I don't even text them that often. But wait a second. Are we only friends text each other? Are we still friends anymore? I mean, after all, we started the same place 8 years ago. I used to sleep on their couches. And now they're practically at the top of the start of Mount Everest. And here I am, 3 failed companies later, still struggling in obscurity in the big game of entrepreneurship. It was 11 p.m. I was standing alone in my room in a 7,000 square foot place with 5 bathrooms all to myself. Dripping wet from the shower, I had no towel. Where the fuck was the towel? I was so angry, beyond anything I realized. God damn it, it's in the other room. You see, this normally wouldn't be a problem, except on that day, my left foot was swollen up like a basketball and I could hardly move. That very morning, I just beat my personal best record at the gym, but by evening, for reasons I didn't understand, every step felt like I was going to trip and crack my head open on the concrete floor. I sat down on the toilet seat, burying my head in my hands. I wish my girlfriend was there. She took care of me the last time I was sick. But we broke up. We were together for 3 years. I haven't cried about that yet. She used to tell me I was always working. I remembered my mom. She used to help me. She told me I don't call her. And when she calls me, I'm either in the meeting or just about to leave the house. For some reason, I remember this kind lady who gave me a quarter to take the bus home when I ran away from home at 10 years old. And my grandparents, whose house I was running to on foot along the railroad track 1,000 miles away, they all passed away while I was in college. I didn't get to say goodbye to any of them. I was too busy. Too busy studying, too busy to go back for their funerals. Is this my life? Just before I turned 16, I moved to Vancouver, Canada from China with my parents. First day of school. I desperately wanted to fit in, but I couldn't understand a thing. Luckily, there was this Chinese kid. He was telling me how he'd been there for 6 years and how the school worked. Then the teacher called him to speak in front of the room. Even I could tell he was stumbling, not at all a colloquial. In fact, in his mumbling words and heavy accent, he kind of sounded like a buffoon. He's been here for 6 years, I thought to myself. Oh, what a failure. I am never going to be like him. In that moment, I made the decision to not speak Chinese, only speak English, and disconnect myself from everything that I thought was a failure. I'm going to master the English language by the time I graduate high school, I thought to myself. It served me well. I spent that entire summer reading To Kill a Mockingbird page to page, looking up the dictionary 20 times for every page. But in 2 years, I became the school's debate captain. People told me that I had no accent. Oh my God, boy, was I proud. There's just one problem. It didn't really help me with girls. I still didn't know how to talk to them. You see, my way of confessing my crush, she played the trumpet, was to tell the band teacher to move me from trombone, which was on the opposite side of the school band, let me remind you, to playing trumpet, just so I could sit next to her and tell her exactly nothing. She didn't notice me. She didn't notice me. So I thought I just got to be more successful. You see, college admission was right around the corner, so I made it to Princeton. And in case you don't know what Princeton is, we beat out Harvard 18 out of the last 20 years as the #1 ranked school in America, which means the #1 ranked school in the world, right? That didn't work either. So what's next? Well, how about entrepreneurship? That's where I got really hooked. As a freshman, I won the entrepreneurship competition, taking home a big check, beating out all the seniors. And before I graduated college, I was worth $8 million, funded by the best investor in Silicon Valley, Y Combinator, behind legendary companies like Airbnb and Dropbox. I'm gonna get you a Ferrari for your 25th birthday, I told my first girlfriend, bless her heart. And that is until I started failing company after company, while everyone around me seemed to be having these multi-billion-dollar successes. You are not your company. I found myself at my first session in the founder support group. The truth in their words echoed deep inside me. You see, on the days that the company was doing well, I was on top of the world. I could walk into any bar and any sexy woman and say, "How you doing?" Until she turned me down anyway, and then I would kick myself in the foot. I just gotta be more successful, right? And on days the company wasn't doing well, I didn't want to get out of bed. The truth is, no matter how it looked on the outside, I was living a permanent baseline experience of failure. What I hate to admit is that being brought to my knees in the game of entrepreneurship is perhaps the greatest gift for me early in life. You see, life seems to have a habit of teaching me the same lesson over and over and over again until I really, really get it. In the moments that I felt like an utter and complete failure, I gathered just enough humility to discover what else is out there. I went to the founder support group. I read the books, did the workshops, did yoga, meditating on death, spirituality, coaching, everything that people do when they're finding themselves unfulfilled and unhappy. I wish I could tell you it was an overnight transformation. But the truth is, it took years and years and continues to be an ongoing process. But when I finally got it, in my heart and my body, not just at the top of my head, that I am not my company, things started to shift. I was able to move out of living with coworkers into my own place. I could tell my mom. I call her and told her I love her. I gave myself the permission to be nurtured by Mother Bali just during this global pandemic, rather than rush home to San Francisco, because that's where the successful people live. You know, a dear friend and teammate asked me, does this mean you're going to quit your company now and become a new musician acrobat? Because he saw me finding time for myself to learn to play the guitar and dangle women off my bare feet in the amazing practice of acro yoga, of course. I chuckled. I hope he was not worried about his job. You see, I'm incredibly fortunate to have a genuine passion in entrepreneurship that I discovered. And in moments that I'm not my company, the natural state of being is to create from a place of love and authenticity rather than strive from a place of fear of unacceptance. When I'm not my company, I get to come to work each day being inspired by our mission of transforming people's relationship with money rather than burnt out by the anxiety that we may never succeed no matter how hard we try. You see, when I'm not my company, success changes from something that is always in the future, permanently doomed to be out of reach, to something that is available in the present. Every moment, I live my values of love, growth, authenticity, discipline, and contribution. I get to experience success. And when I'm not my company, I get to have the distinct pleasure of picking up the phone and tell my friends, my dear friends, congratulations. I'm so proud of you. I'm so grateful to be on your path. Thank you very much.